If you crack first, Dave, it won't make you any less of a man.
I'm nowhere near cracking.
Neither am I, my friend.
Dave. And oh, Matthew, what is it now? For God's sake, no one's smoking, okay? But nothing! You know what we need around here is an anti-whining ordinance. So just sip your sniveling little lip and haul your skinny ass out of here!
I'm wearing the wrong shirt today. I should have something with the Superman symbol on it because DC is dropping the hammer as far as Superman news today. I can't believe there's so much coming out. Superman, the flagship title, is canceled, sort of. Well, it's being canceled, but it's also being replaced by a new title with a new writer. Phillip Kennedy Johnson is going to be solely writing Action Comics starting in July. But we've also got a new Superman and the Authority miniseries coming from Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison has an interesting history on Superman. Now, we've heard about this Superman and the Authority team-up that was going to be happening. They were hinting at it in the pages of Brian Michael Bendis' Superman. And we're going to be getting a 4-issue miniseries that's going to directly impact both Superman and Action Comics. So all this stuff is in continuity if DC Comics actually has continuity. I'm not really sure, but beginning in July, it feels like DC Comics is putting a much heavier emphasis on Superman moving forward. It sounds like they have big plans for the character, and they want to do something. We're getting a new Superman, if you did not know that. Now, before I get into that, I want to say, if you enjoy comic book news, reviews, debate, this might be the channel for you. Subscribe to Thinking Critical YouTube. Hit the bell for notifications. Definitely give us a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. Definitely want to hear your thoughts on them kind of canceling Superman, replacing him with his son as the new Superman, Superman joining the Authority, and also what's going on in Action Comics with Phillip Kennedy Johnson, which happens to deal with all of this as well. Exciting times if you're a Superman fan. Now let's get right into it. So DC is sort of canceling Superman. The Superman title that we've had for some time, which was rebooted when Brian Michael Bendis took over with Man of Steel. He kind of got the reins to the character. It was rebooted to a #1 issue. It's been going on for quite some time. We had heard that Phillip Kennedy Johnson, when he took over, he was writing Superman and Action Comics. He said he wasn't going to be writing both series all that long. Didn't realize it was going to be this soon. But we also didn't realize they were going to be shutting down the Superman title. And they're replacing it with Superman, Son of Kal-El. And you guessed it, John Kent will be taking over the mantle from Superman while he is doing some missions on World. He's going to be going there to save some prisoners. Now, that is what the Superman and the Authority is all about. But talking about this Superman, Son of Kal-El, the writer will be Tom Taylor, artist John Timms. Now, Tom Taylor's been a really hot commodity at DC Comics. He had his Injustice series, which is probably the biggest comic book spinoff, really, from a video game. It's still going on. I think the last one was like a DC Digital first, but he's also had his Deceased universe, which I think is fantastic. It might be the best thing going today at DC Comics. Certainly the best kind of little corner of the universe. One of the more enjoyable reads, even though it's kind of a zombie comic. Shockingly, it's got a lot of heart and it's really enjoyable to read. So Tom Taylor has worked with John Kent being Superman. He's obviously the Superman. After we saw the fall of Clark Kent, and I believe he's currently eating the sun in that part of the universe. I've also enjoyed Tom Taylor's work on a couple of fill-in issues for like Batman. I think they were annuals. I liked his first issue of Nightwing. Definitely didn't like his second issue nearly as much. Not sure where that one's going. And he just debuted Batman the Detective. So he's working with all the major players at DC Comics. Feels like that's probably a big hit for DC right now. The art is fantastic, but we'll see where the story goes. I think he probably could have accomplished a little bit more at that first issue. Now, there is an ongoing theme. It's not just Superman. You're going to find out that all these comic books are $5. Even this Superman, Son of Kal-El #1. And it says right on the cover, 22 pages of action. So it's not even 24 pages, which is the standard page count for a comic book. A couple pages less, and you're paying $5 for it. So you're not getting a backup story. You're not getting anything extra. It's just $5 is becoming the new normal at DC Comics, which is a poor choice in my opinion. But maybe I've read the room wrong. Maybe people are excited to pay $5 for these comic books. I have a feeling most people aren't. This will be going on sale July 13th, and this is a solicitation. Jonathan Kent has experienced a lot in his young life. He's fought evil with Robin, traveled across galaxies with his Kryptonian grandfather, and lived in the future with the Legion of Superheroes. who were intent on training him for the day his father could no longer be Superman. There is a hole in the Legion's history that prevents John from knowing exactly when that will happen, but all signs point to it being very soon. It's time for the son to wear the cape of his father and continue the never-ending battle as a symbol of hope for his home planet. This will be coming out, like I said, on July 13th. So we definitely seen in Phil Kennedy Johnson's Superman action story that John Kent definitely thinks that Clark Kent is going to be dying soon. But we also saw in Future State with the Superman story, Superman of Metropolis, which is Jonathan Kent, Superman Worlds of War, which was Clark Kent on World War. Hey, are we moving towards this? I was saying that almost all the stuff that's going on in DC Comics is moving actively towards what was happening in Future State. Batman, Detective Comics, both actively working towards the Magistrate. Superman in Action Comics, I said earlier, people scoffed at me. I said, this is moving towards Superman, Clark Kent being gone, and Jonathan Kent taking over the mantle in the not too distant future. Obviously, it's happening in July. And they're moving towards what they were doing in Future State. So if you were one of the people that doubted me, I guess, this time I ended up being correct. But what we did learn in DC's Future State is that, in 3,000 years, Clark Kent is still alive. We learned that in the last issue that Phil Kennedy Johnson wrote, The House of El. So I don't know why they think that Clark Kent's going to die when we've seen, in fact, that he's going to be living for thousands of years. Now, he is going to leave Earth in our galaxy and go out and save other planets. We know that's part of it, and he ends up returning when his houses kind of go to war, a la Game of Thrones kind of style. Am I excited about this? I don't know. We'll have to see where it goes. This isn't new. Clark Kent has been the main character in Action Comics, and a new Superman has been the Superman in the Superman title. I believe it was Chris Kent back in the day. So this isn't the first time this has ever happened, and it was certainly something that we were expecting. Didn't realize it was going to happen this soon, but in July, if you are a big Tom Taylor fan, he's writing Batman, he's writing Superman, and this one's in continuity. That obviously Batman the Detective isn't. So big things happening for Tom Taylor at DC Comics. And definitely let me know, is this something that you're excited about? Is this something that you wanted? Did you want Jonathan Kent to replace his father, Clark Kent, as the main protagonist of Superman, while Clark Kent kind of leaves Earth and goes on adventures somewhere else in Action Comics? Now, this isn't the only big news regarding Superman. We've got many things happening. In Brian Michael Bendis's Superman Action Comics run, there were definitely hints that there was going to be something going on with the Authority. It looks like he is not going to be able to finish those story threads, but they are in fact going to go with it. Superman and the Authority are going to be joining up in a 4-issue limited series. This is going to be written by Grant Morrison, which is an interesting choice. He has written one of the greatest Superman stories of all time, like runs of all time, All-Star Superman. Absolutely fantastic. But he's also written one of the more derided Superman runs of all time during his New 52 Superman. So which Grant Morrison Superman are we going to get here? I guess we shall find out. I will say, obviously, All-Star Superman was more of an Elseworlds type Superman story, whereas New 52 was in continuity. This appears to be in continuity. So we shall see. The artist is going to be Michael Yannon. Obviously, he got a lot of work at DC Comics when he was working on Batman with Tom King. Not my favorite artist in the world. He's definitely has a unique style, but sometimes it could be a little flaccid. You know what I mean? It's not kinetic. It's very flat, very stagnant kind of art sometimes with Michael Yannon. So we shall see how much time they gave him. This is a 4-issue miniseries. Hopefully he's been working on this for quite some time, and he had time to really get in there and nail the art on this one. I do think Superman and the Authority joining up is an odd choice. What Superman represents and what the Authority represents are literally polar opposites of each other. So I find that an odd team up. So we're going to be getting, Superman is going to recruit Manchester Black, the original Authority members, Midnighter Apollo, also Enchantress and Tasha Irons, and then we're going to get new versions of Light Ray and Omok. And they're going to be going on a mission to Warworld to free prisoners. And we shall see how this goes. One of the coolest things, and I'm going to be honest, this is the coolest thing about this series, because I don't really know that Superman and the Authority joining up makes a whole lot of sense in my mind. But there is something cool. We're going to see ultra-humanite. Now, this was like the first big Superman villain. He's like the polar opposite of Superman. And he was like the first real big time antagonist for Superman. Obviously, he was replaced in time with Lex Luthor, but he's a really crazy character. Like he's a surgeon, and he will like do brain transplants on himself. And I think the most prominent like body that we've seen him in is like a albino gorilla. I imagine he's going to have a new vessel when he encounters Superman and the Authority as they're going to free prisoners on Warworld. And it does say he's going to have a team of supervillains with him. So I think that part's really cool. I don't know. As far as the stuff that they announced today, this Superman and the Authority, although I don't think Superman and the Authority teaming up makes a whole lot of sense. And Grant Morrison, when he's amazing, like he's almost the best in the industry, but when he's not amazing, I don't really like his work. So this is going to be either like balls to the wall, lights out fantastic, or it's going to be really, really, really crazy, like too crazy. I'm holding out hope that this is actually going to be really good. I'm definitely going to read this. But as you can see by the cover, it is another $5 comic. There is no backup story. I don't imagine this is 40 pages, but we don't get that in the solicitations, and this is what they have to say there. If Superman is to free the prisoners of Warworld, he's going to need help, the kind of help that doesn't scream Justice League. Fortunately, multi-Eisner award-winning writer Grant Morrison and fan-favorite artist Michael Yannon had the solution in the form of a new 4-issue limited series, Superman and the Authority, launching July 20th. This new team will be led by Manchester Black and combine original members Midnighter and Apollo with new members Enchantress and Natasha Irons, as well as new versions of Light Ray and Omok. This new team will have to learn to work together and fast, as the ultra-humanite has formed his own team of villains to take out the Man of Steel. And it also mentions this series will help launch an all-new status quo for Superman, setting up story elements that will impact both action and Superman, Son of Kal-El. So there you go. Obviously, there's a lot more emphasis being put on Superman and what's going on, but we are clearly, there's no doubt about it, we are moving towards Superman of Metropolis and Superman Worlds of War. We are moving towards Future State, not only in Batman, not only in Teen Titans, certainly in Superman. Feels like we're moving there in Swamp Thing as well. We definitely aren't in Justice League because Brian Michael Bendis just gets to do whatever he wants. But most of the other big titles at DC Comics are moving towards Future State. So if you didn't enjoy Future State, or if you don't like, if you don't like spoilers and knowing where all this stuff is heading, this might not have been the best choice for DC Comics. I'm remaining hopeful on this one. I'm definitely going to check it out. And I don't know. I think Grant Morrison still has it, and he could definitely still deliver it. There are other classic creators that just don't, they're just past their prime. Grant Morrison's still within his prime to a point, and I think he can probably do something here. Now, that probably leaves you asking, what's going to happen with Phillip Kennedy Johnson? Well, he's writing Action Comics. It feels like he was brought in to kind of tie up some of the stuff that Bendis was doing, push Superman into a new direction, Superman and John Kent into a new direction, so they can establish this new Superman status quo that's moving towards what was happening in Future State. So in July, Action Comics 1033, it will be Phillip Kennedy Johnson and Daniel Sanford. He will no longer be the Superman writer. He's just the Action Comics writer. And we are going to see some fallout as we are having refugees arrive on Earth. Specifically, they go down to Atlantis with some of their Warworld technology, which creates a big conflict. And apparently, eventually, they're going to find the Fortress of Solitude in Lois Lane. There's no better way to get Clark Kent into action than to mess with this lady. And this is the solicitation for Action Comics 1033 coming on 27 July. Writer Phillip Kennedy Johnson and artist Daniel Sanford keep Superman on the front lines in his battle to free prisoners of Warworld in Action Comics 1033. This issue takes the action to Atlantis and to the Fortress of Solitude, where Warworld refugees have taken possession of dangerous Warworld tech, bringing it to Aquaman's undersea kingdom and risking an all-out war that even Superman may not be able to prevent. Meanwhile, some of the escaped Warworld prisoners have found the Fortress of Solitude, and along with it, Lois Lane. And in this 40-page blockbuster, second feature, Midnighter has gone deep into the Trojan compound and found an unexpected guest whose path he crossed in Future State, none other than Shiloh Norman, aka the third Mr. Miracle. So there you go. More mentions of Future State. And of course, this also is a $5 comic, but it is 40 pages. There is the backup story. So I continue to maintain that DC's push to a $5 regular cover price is absolutely ludicrous and will blow up in their faces. But we shall see. I have been wrong before. I have been wrong. I wasn't wrong about Superman and Action Comics moving towards the future of Future State. But I could be wrong with that one. We'll see how people react to that. So there you go. If you're a Superman fan, big things happening for the son of Krypton, for Big Blue. He's being retired. He's no longer the hero of the Superman comic. That belongs to John Kent. Tom Taylor is going to be writing that one. It is going to be Superman, son of Kal-El. But Superman is joining up with the Authority. Also has a classic writer on it. Grant Morrison has done amazing things with Superman in the past. He's also done some amazing things for not the right reasons also on Superman. So we shall see what happens. I remain optimistic that although I don't think Superman and the Authority meeting up and teaming up makes a whole lot of sense, that if someone's going to pull it off, it's going to be Grant Morrison. And Michael Yannon is a good artist. I enjoy him. I don't think he's a great artist, but he's certainly good. And finally, Phillip Kennedy Johnson is in the party. Action Comics 1033 will also see refugees coming to Earth from Warworld. They're going to be going to Atlantis. They're going to be going to the Fortress of Solitude, probably causing some hell, as Superman is ready to go to Warworld and take the fight to ultra-humanite and eventually Mongol. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think. Is this exciting for you? Are you a Superman fan? Is this what you want? And what do you think about the $5 cover prices? I think it's ridiculous.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.